Good morning, dear students. Let us start today's class with a small prayer. Lord Jesus, we surrender our suffering humanity and healthcare professionals into your heart. Bless us with your love and care and help us to provide healing hands and smiling face during their journey. Lord, make me as an instrument of your peace, love, and healing. Amen. Ave Maria. In this class, we will see regarding implementation and evaluation. We have seen the first three steps. So, with the development of the first steps, the practical application or doing this activity is known as implementation. So, interventions, what we have written down, is carried out during in this particular period. So, what is the definition? Implementation is the step which involves action or doing and the actual carrying out of nursing intervention outlined in the plan of care. So, whatever we have planned in the first three part, we are doing. Okay, in the implementation stage, we do whatever we have planned. Okay, it may be depending upon the intervention. Sometimes it may be on the basis of protocols and standing orders. Okay, now implementation skill. To implement, nurse need to have cognitive skill which involves application of nursing knowledge. Okay, so here the nurse continually think and anticipate and understand the individualized care to the client and provide it. Next is the interpersonal skill. Good interpersonal communication is very important in nursing, and it is very critical to provide adequate knowledge, individualized client teaching, support to the client. The nurse should communicate according to the need of the patient in a clear, intelligent, and in correct time. The third skill is the psychomotor skill. Okay, psychologically and physiologically, she should perform the skill well, without any mistakes, correctly, smoothly, and efficiently. And she gains it by repeatedly doing it. So, as the experience increases, the perfection, smoothness, and the efficiency in nurse increases. It is the professional responsibility of every nurse to acquire competency in what we are doing. So there are three types of skill is found or required to do or implement nursing process. That is cognitive skill, interpersonal skill, and psychomotor skill. Before beginning the implementation, we should do the 5 preparatory activities. Okay, what are the 5 preparatory activities of an implementation? It is required to provide efficient, safe, and effective nursing care. The first one is reassessing the client. Yes, we might have written the nursing care plan with interventions, but the conditions of the client can be improved and can be worsened. So, reassessment is a continuous process. Whenever we meet the patient for a need or even to assess, continuously identify the condition of the patient. Reassessment provides to plan whether the proposed nursing action is still appropriate or we need to take the new one. After reassessing, reviewing and revising the existing nursing care plan. Now we have assessed the condition of the patient. Accordingly, review the care plan. Whatever written, everything which is written may not be able to do it. So, identify the need and modify the existing care plan according to the present need of the patient. Third one is organizing resources and care delivery. Okay, after reviewing and revising the nursing process, we should organize the implementation. What we should do? We should take care of the equipment and we should take care of the personnel. Equipment, the supplies and the articles what we are using. So gather it, make sure whatever is available it is present, gather around the patient in a convenient location, and even after the procedure implementation, make sure that the equipments are replaced. Consider the personal arrangement. Okay, here nurse, the primary nurse or even the senior nurse is an important responsible person throughout the length of stay in the hospital. As long as the patient stays in the hospital, primary nurse or the senior most nurse is the responsible, or the person who is taking care, responsible to take care of the client is the responsible person. Okay, so she must determine whether to do this or to delegate to somebody else. Clear? And if she is doing it, must do it. And if she is delegating it to somebody else, make sure that the delegation must be done to the person according to the ability and skill of the person. Okay, so take care of the personnel. So equipment and personnel. So make sure that the person who is carrying out has adequate skill, knowledge and attitude in performing this particular care. The next is the environment. Now organization is over. Next is the environment. The nurse should take care of the surroundings in which the procedure is doing. A safe and conducive environment is very important for implementing any therapies. Client safety is the first concern. Provide privacy so that the patient can be relaxed. Okay, reduce distraction so that the teaching and learning what is happening during the implementation or during the procedure can be facilitated. And be sure that provide adequate space and light so that it improves efficiency of care and it prevents errors. So the environment in which we implement must be arranged. Okay, next is the client. Okay, we are doing for the client. So make sure that the client is physiologically and psychologically comfortable before any procedure. Explain the procedure, say what is the importance of it. If possible, plan along with him so that we can assure a better cooperation and coordination. Example is, okay, provide analgesics before dressing. So the pain of the patient can be reduced and we can have better cooperation. So before doing, we should make a 5 preparation reassessing the client, reviewing and revising the existing nursing care plan, organizing resources and care delivery, organizing environment, and preparing the patient. Now let us see what is the process of implementation. Okay, now we have prepared to do the activities. Now really we are going to do it. Even just before doing, what we should do? Again, we should assess the patient. Just before implementing an order or intervention, we should reassess whether still it is needed or whether we should modify in any other manner. Okay, so that has to be written down. Assessed and it has to be written down. And determine the need for assistance. Identify whether one nurse can perform or she need an assistance. These are the three situations where she has to take up assistance. One, the nurse is unable to implement the nursing intervention safely alone. And now imagine catheterization. Catheterization is a procedure where we need to have additional person, maybe to arrange the lightings and even to maintain all sterility. Second is the assistance would reduce stress on the client. Yes, if there is a patient or if there is a nurse, okay, the patient can be still more relaxed. Third one is the nurse lacks the knowledge or skill to implement a particular nursing activity. Okay, when we delegate, we do not have anyone to delegate who has got adequate skill and knowledge. So delegate to a person who is not efficient. In such a case, supervision is important. So the senior person or the in charge or even the primary nurse should go along with her and be sure that assisting is done so that she can perform and the patient is not suffering. So determining the need and if it is required, arrange for assistance. Third one is implementing the nursing order and intervention. Do it now. Okay, now we have reassessed the client and identified the need for assistance and do it. Okay, now what is the guidelines for implementing nursing strategies? Okay, we will see it. First, the nursing action should be based on scientific knowledge, nursing research for professional standards of care. So whenever we do any activity, be sure the scientific knowledge behind it and maintain the professional standards. Next, the nurse should understand clearly the orders to be implemented and question which is not understood. Okay, be sure that she is thorough with nursing orders. Okay, if it is said by doctors, okay, thorough regarding the doctor's order. And if it is written as nursing intervention, be sure that it is clearly understood. Okay, nursing action should be adapted to the individual client. Okay, remember about the client who was given bathroom bath, but he was having severe cardiac failure, could not sit but need to take bath. So what to do? Brought a plastic chair and asked him to lean forward on the plastic chair and advise the family members to continue the care. So cardiac position, even in bathroom, provided comfort to him. So before each time, assess whether we need to adopt according to the need of the client. We need to modify. Nursing action should be always safe. Yes, be sure the safety of patient, safety of the staff nurse. Nursing action should often require teaching, support and comfort. Yes, teaching. Tell them what we are doing, why we are doing, how we are doing. And in between, provide support according to the need of the client. And be sure that the patient is in a comfortable state. The nursing action should be holistic. Whenever we do think about all the aspects of the client, psychological, physical, social, spiritual. Recently, there was one mother who was really irritating, and I never expect she will go from the hospital by walking, and understood there was many problems, and it was not told to me actually. I have not asked anything, but I came to know directly and indirectly, all together as a nursing team. We have taken care of those aspects, and we could see that she was going from the hospital by walking. Okay, she came with many disorder, so we never expected, and she was too irritating. Uh, Character she was showing. Okay, so she was irritated. So it was basically she was not happy with herself and the family. So such a problems we can see from the patients. So whenever we do any action, don't judge. Okay, tomorrow we do not know what will be our condition. In 70s, really we do not know how we are going to act. So have patience with everyone, understand everybody, and respect all the aspect of the patient. Nursing action should respect the dignity of the client and enhance the client's self-esteem. Should never say any word which put down the patient. Always, the patients are given to us by the God, Creator. We are selected to nursing even by the Creator. So be with Him. He respects each and every person. He respects each and every child. So even we should provide care through with the respect, irrespective of caste, creed, color. If I say, if there is someone who is less fortunate, take care of him or her first. Next, the client should be encouraged to participate activity in implementing the nursing action. Participate in thinking, participate in doing whatever activities the client can do. Encourage him to do or encourage her to do. So these are the guidelines to be followed. It should be based upon the scientific knowledge and the research and the standard of professions. Understand clearly what to be done, and nursing action should be adopted to the individual client. Nursing action should always be safe. And nursing action often require teaching, support, and comfort. Nursing action should be holistic. Nursing action should respect dignity of the client and enhance the client's self-esteem. Client should be encouraged to participate activity in implementing the nursing action. Okay, fourth process is delegating and supervising. What is delegating? Transferring the responsibility to another person. Even that person does or not, the person who is transferring also is accountable. So transferring responsibility, okay, with authority is known as delegation. Responsibility with authority is known as delegation. And the person who is delegating also is accountable. Assignment. Assignment may be downward lateral transfer of both responsibility and even accountability is known as assignment. Okay, so either the person can do it or the person can delegate it. Okay, after that, documentation. The delegation is important and documentation is equally important. Okay, the work can be done by the staff nurse, she should do it, and which can be delegated, to whom she should delegate. Okay, that should be properly learned. You will learn in management all these things in detail next year. And documenting the nursing action, fifth one. After carrying out, after performing the nursing activity, after completing it, we are finishing it with documentation. Yes, documentation provides you legal protection for what you have done if it is written well. Clear? I remember in a situation where there was a mistake from the doctor's side, he just came and cut it. But in the description, okay, staff nurse, she has written well, so the institution could stand on it, and the penalty was not against the institution or against the staff nurse, that was to the person who has done the mistake. Okay, so document. Only document what you have done. Don't take up any others documentation. And never allow others to document what you have done. It is your right. Yes, that is a legal procedure. Sixth one is anticipating and preventing complication. Yes, it can be considered as sixth one, or it can be considered as the core step of all these 5 steps. Whenever we do anything, we should check for the complication. And if there is any chance of complication, make sure that we are taking the protective measures. If the patient, we are removing the side rails while giving bath, if there is chance for falling, be sure that either we arrange more personnel so that we can prevent the accidental fall of patient. So this is how we should anticipate and prevent complication. So the 6 steps of our process of implementation is reassessing the client, determining the need for assistance, implementing the nursing orders or intervention, delegating and supervising. Okay, supervising means looking from above. Okay, if I am delegating any responsibility to somebody else, it is my responsibility to go and check whether it is performed with its adequacy and perfection. And documenting nursing action and anticipating and preventing complication. With this, I am concluding implementation. So let us go to the evaluation. Evaluation is the final step of nursing process, or it can be considered as the last step. And after the application of nursing process, how effective it is, whether we need to replan again, because that is identified in evaluation. So the knowledge of the staff nurse and the regarding the client's condition and the present condition will help her to evaluate effectively. Okay, and already we have a goal, expected goal, and with the goal we compare the patient's present condition and we identify whether the nursing process, the nursing strategies met its goal. Now, what is the definition? Evaluation, according to Craven, evaluation is defined as the judgment of the effectiveness of nursing care to meet client goals. Yes, it is effectiveness of nursing care in meeting the client goals. In this, the nurse compare the client's behavioral response with the predetermined client goals and outcome criteria. Okay, whatever objectives we have, whatever goal we set, compare with that and identify whether the met the client goals. Okay, another definition, evaluation is an ongoing purposeful activity in which client and the healthcare professionals determine the client's progress towards goal achievement and their effectiveness of the nursing care plan. Okay, the evaluating is a, that supply is not there. Okay, evaluating is an ongoing purposeful activity. It is an ongoing purposeful activity. What is the purpose of evaluation? It determines client's behavioral response to nursing intervention. Yesterday I have given the painkiller. With this painkiller, patient's pain reduced, whether he is comfortable today. So determining the client's behavioral response to nursing intervention. Compare client's response with a predetermined outcome criteria. My predetermined outcome criteria was reduction of pain up to 3, but it is reduced only up to 5. Okay, so patient says that he has 5 level of pain. Comparing the client's response with the predetermined outcome criteria. So partially I attained my purpose. Appraise the extent to which the client goals were attained. Up to which extent? Okay, patient's pain could reduce, but not up to the predetermined goal. Assess the collaboration of client and healthcare team members. Okay, what happened? The patient got irritated yesterday. The patient was disturbing the wound yesterday. So what may be the reason why still pain is existing? How the cooperation between the healthcare professionals and the patient is going on. Identify the errors in the plan of care. Sometime yesterday the patient had pain. Today he may not have the pain. So need not give the interventions for that. So today is an error if you are administering painkiller again. Monitor the quality of nursing care. Be sure that the quality nursing care is given to the clients. So what is the purpose of evaluation? Determine client's behavior response to the nursing intervention. Compare the client's response with the predetermined outcome, or it can be act as a criteria. Okay, predetermined outcome can be called as a criteria to assess. Appraise the extent to which the client goals were attained. Assess the collaboration of client and healthcare team members. Identify the errors in the plan of care and monitor the quality of nursing care. Let us see what are the factors which affects our goal. There are factors regarding family members, among the nurses and among the healthcare members. What are the factors which affect adversely to the family members? Lack of understanding about the plan of care, because they may not cooperate with us well. Lack of interest in the client, if he is not an important person to you or to the family members. Failure to realize client's problem. They may not realize the severity or importance of the problem. Cultural heritage. Okay, according to certain culture, okay, in certain sector of us may not receive the blood. So that is the cultural heritage that they are getting. Their moral values and the religious influence. Okay, each religion has their own mode of living. So they will only accept those kind of implementation. So from the family members, lack of understanding about the plan of care, lack of interest in client, failure to realize the client's problem, cultural heritage, moral values, and the religious influence. Nurse. Okay, in the nurse, if she has got incomplete or inappropriate data regarding the patient, okay, that can act as a hindrance. Inappropriate nursing diagnosis, if the nursing diagnosis is not formed well. Inappropriate priority setting, the patient has respiratory problem, severe respiratory failure, and even if we are going to treat the wound, by the time we provide the wound care, the patient may not be there. Failure to involve client or not sharing information with other members of the healthcare team. Okay, one person of the healthcare team may know, if she is not sharing with others. Okay, so because one person cannot take care of the patient for 24 hours, so it is a teamwork. So must be given proper information to the all team members. Okay, so the nurse is not able to provide care if she has incomplete or inappropriate data collected, inappropriate nursing diagnosis, okay, priority setting if it is not appropriate, if she has lack of knowledge and skill, failure to involve, not sharing the information with other members of the healthcare team. What about the total healthcare members? Okay, if there is a lack of communication between the departments, lack of teamwork, and failure to coordinate. All these will act, okay, as a hindrance for the attainment of goal achievement. Now, there are different types of evaluation. According to the situation, we should select appropriate evaluation technology. So let us see what are the types of evaluation. According to the criteria and according to the frequency, we are learning the evaluation. Now first, according to the criteria, three types of evaluations are there. Structure evaluation, process evaluation, and outcome evaluation. Structure evaluation involves the setting in which the care is provided. Okay, that is regarding the settings, policies, structure, procedure, physical facilities, layout, equipment, and number of qualified personnel available. Okay, all these things when we evaluate, it is called as structure evaluate. Yes, all these things must be appropriate to provide a good quality nursing care. Second is the process evaluation. It is the method, the way in which the care is being given or delegated, performed or delegated. Clear? It explores whether the care is provided relevant, whether it is according to the need of the patient, whether it is appropriate, complete, and adequate. The act of giving the care, okay, that process, how well it is, whether it is appropriate, that is assessed in a process evaluation. Outcome evaluation, yes, measurable changes in the health status of the client, that is called as outcome evaluation. According to the criteria, structure evaluation, process evaluation, and outcome evaluation. Now, according to the time and frequency, even three more evaluation techniques are there. Ongoing evaluation, okay, which is continuously happening. Clear? With implementation and soon after the implementation, if it is done, it is called as ongoing evaluation. Next is the intermediate evaluation. Intermediate evaluation is not a continuous evaluation, but in between with a specific interval, maybe once a week, once a day. Such a intermediately in between when we are evaluating, it can be called as intermediate evaluation. Terminal evaluation, that is at the time of discharge. Okay, so what is the present condition of the patient? What was the condition when he came in? Whether he attained all his targeted goals. That is a terminal evaluation. So, the types of evaluation, according to criteria, we learned regarding structural evaluation, process evaluation, and outcome evaluation. And according to the time and frequency, ongoing evaluation, intermediate evaluation, and terminal evaluation. Next is the process of evaluation. Process, activities. Okay, so different terms it is given. All these things are same. It has 7 components, the process. First is identifying the desired outcomes. What is the criteria? Desired outcome is the criteria based on which evaluation must be done. So what is the planned desired outcome we set for this particular client, whether it is attained or not? Okay, that is the evaluation. Identify the desired outcome. Okay, that is the first component. Second one is collecting the data related to the desired outcomes. Clearly stated, precise data. Okay, measurable data, that is already we have prepared. Okay, and assess it, and we should know what it is. Okay, we can get it from the written nursing process. And it should include both subjective and the objective data. And preferably, if it is a objective data, it should be subjective data. It must be written in terms of the client itself. Next is the comparing data with outcome. If the first part of the evaluation process has been carried out effectively, comparison is easy because already we have a desired outcome which is a measurable term in our hand. So check it whether goal is met or it is partially met or it was not met. Clear? So that is the evaluation criteria. Next is relating the nursing activity with outcome. Determine whether the nursing activities had any relation with outcome. Whether it is due to poor nursing care, the desired outcome has not met or partially met. So relate nursing activities with outcome. And based upon that, draw a conclusion. Clear? Based upon the nursing activities and the predetermined outcome. And what is the problem? How can we prevent it? How can we reduce it? Identify it in a drawing conclusion about the problems. And what should do with this conclusion? Okay, if there is any unmet, continuously modify it. If it is met, terminate the nursing care plan. If all the needs are met, we can terminate the nursing care plan. If it is partially met or if it is unmet, modify, identify what was the problem and determine how to modify it and modify it. And the last one is documentation. Clear? So what is the outcome that has to be documented with our own predetermined outcome statement? The patient complained of pain at LP site. Okay, the patient's pain at LP site is reduced to the level of 10 out of 4 out of 10. So specify and document it. So these are the 7 steps or even component of evaluation process. Identify the desired outcome, collecting the data related to the desired outcome, comparing the data with outcome, relating the nursing activities with outcome, and drawing conclusions, continuing modifying or terminating the nursing care plan, and documentation. When we want to modify the nursing care plan, what we should do? Change the data in the assessment column and the new data must be added with the date. Okay, so that indicates it is a new one. For those who are checking it, they can understand it is 2 days. Revise the nursing diagnosis and the new nursing diagnosis also must be dated. Revise the client's priority goals and even the outcome criteria. Establish new nursing interventions and strategies so that it will be helping either to increase the care or decrease the need of care, and rearrange the nursing activities and implementing the new strategies, and change the outcome criteria so that we will be able to identify the change in the plan. So if you are modifying a care plan, be sure that write down it and date, okay, in the columns, diagnosis, nursing interventions, and even outcomes, and accordingly must modify the care. Now, what is the evaluation skill required? She should know thoroughly regarding the hospital policies, procedures, and the protocol, interventions, and recording. A registered nurse cannot say that she don't know. She should have the knowledge regarding it. The nurse must have to date. Okay, the nurse should have up-to-date knowledge and information. She should update her knowledge and even skill, and she should have intellectual and technical skill to do it interventions effectively and perfectly. The nurse must have knowledge and skill to collect subjective and objective data, and she should review the patient-centered objectives, whether it is patient-centered objectives are met or not. And the nurse reassesses the clients to gather the data regarding actual response to the nursing intervention. So she should have good knowledge in hospital settings, the policies, knowledge on nursing intervention, and skill and should have good knowledge regarding the patient-centered objectives and reassess the client data adequately. Okay, next, evaluation that is required. A nurse compare the actual outcome with the desired outcome. Okay, compare with the actual situation and what is expected. Nurse makes critical judgment about the patient-centered objective and determine the client objectives met, partially met or not achieved. When the objectives are met, she stops the nursing process. Partially met, reassess the situation and find out the reason behind it. Clear? And if the nurse should assess initial baseline data to complete whether goal is attained or not, whether timely framework is done or not, clear, and whether is there any imbalance, nursing interventions were appropriate according to the need, that also must be assessed. So she should assess with the actual outcome, with the expected outcome, and critical judgment must be done regarding the patient-centered objectives and determine whether it is met. If it is not, identify the reason. Okay, and she should assess with baseline data and goal, time frame, and appropriateness of nursing intervention. So we are concluding implementation and evaluation. Whatever is planned in the first three stages, doing is known as implementation, and checking whether the predetermined plan is attained or not is known as evaluation. These both are equally important. Study well. If any doubt, please ask me, and I will give the note on diagnosis soon. Thank you.